Hello, I'm BXToyCat, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about renewable resources in Minecraft for Xbox and Minecraft for PlayStation. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because one of the biggest differences between Minecraft for the PC and Minecraft for the consoles is that on the PC you have essentially infinite worlds, whereas on the console you have a much more limited, between 864, 864, and 5000 by 5000 world, which a lot of people think is one of the bigger downsides of consoles. However, for me, when it was first announced all those years ago, I thought this is actually kind of a cool thing in some ways, having a limited world, because it means the dynamic of the game will actually change past a certain point, because of course when you first spawn in, the world's going to be exactly the same. This could be a PC world for all you know, because you can't see the world border. However, there are some things that on PC you can get lots more of, but on consoles are more limited, and the easiest example of this is probably mossy cobblestone. If you wanted to make a massive mossy cobblestone statue, on PC you could go around, try and find enough dungeons to do that. However, on the consoles, on your world, however big it is, you're only going to have a certain number of mob spawners with these mossy cobblestone, and since you can't currently craft it, obviously on the PC you later can, but since you can't craft it, that means there's just nothing you can do, and that's where renewable resources come in, because over a period of months or years, all of the non-renewable resources in your world can eventually run out, and you'll be left with only these resources in your world. So if you intend to be playing Minecraft for a while, I figured this would be an interesting subject to visit. So please do like the video if you do like it. It helps out the channel a lot, and it lets me know you do like it, and let's get straight into this one, shall we? So what is an infinitely renewable resource? The subject of this video, which I've said a few times now but haven't really clarified. Basically, it's a resource which you can get over and over and over again that isn't based on, your world generation, and that, you can actually keep on getting if you have some of it already. So, of course, you can run out of these things if you try deliberately to. So, for instance, if you get rid of all the cactuses in your world, there's no way to make a cactus. But, if you have at least one cactus, you can start a farm from there, for instance, and the same's true for a lot of the things in this video, and that's kind of the definition, and there's lots of categories that I'll start talking about today. And like I said, since these are the things that might, if you play a world for long enough, be the only blocks that you can use without burning down your existing structures, I think it'd be fun to talk about. So let's get started with wood type stuff, because this is the most obvious one, and this is the one you think of when you think real life renewable stuff, because, it's easy enough to just, chop down a tree, then you get saplings from it, plant those trees, get more trees, etc, etc, rinse and repeat, and you get all the wood in the world. So all the wood types are renewable resources, as well as all the plank types, all of the, half slabs, all of the stairs, and anything involving wood or sticks in any way, basically. So you've got your trapdoor here, you've got your door, you've got your fences, all this sort of stuff. This is all, renewable because it's made from wood. So all of this stuff you can make as much as you want, as long as you have some form of wood farm in your world. The next biggest category of stuff is going to be cobblestone stuff, because you might think, there is a lot of stone in the world, so this is probably the last one that will ever come up at any point for anyone, and realistically, because there's so much of it as a world bug, it's not that big an issue, but all of this stuff is technically renewable, because you can make a cobblestone generator like so. Obviously mine's really inefficient, and it's going to keep throwing cobblestone to lava, but you can make cobblestone generators, which just generate cobblestone out of thin air, which means you can actually just make cobblestone, and using that cobblestone, you can smelt it, and you can get smooth stone. Using both these things, or either of these things, you can make a lot of different structures. So the first one is you can make cobblestone walls, you can make smooth stone, you can make half slabs, you can make all of these things right here, and you can even make stone bricks and the related stuff, as well as this nice stone pressure plate. And yeah, that's the biggest second category. You can technically make all of this stuff anyway, and since you have a lot of it anyway, it's basically renewable until you need cobblestone generator. And if you get to the point where you're at that point, then you've done a lot of mining in your world. So yeah, you've got wood-based stuff, and you've also got stone-based stuff. Okay, so to move on to the third category, we're going to have to go over to the sheep over here, which we've left in here so he doesn't despawn. And basically, the sheep have the third biggest category because they have so many wool-based products. And, you can shear a sheep and you get wool. You can also dye a sheep with using non-renewable dyes, and then you have an infinite amount of whatever dye, wool he comes out with. So, for instance, you can get, well, not for instance, but you can get all 16 colors of wool. I believe it's 16, maybe 17, as well as the 16 colors of carpet, which is really, really cool, and means that if you want to have a nice, colorful thing, then you never have to run out of that, and I think that's kind of nice, and it's perhaps the easiest thing to have a renewable supply of, because it's literally as easy as, have a sheep in some form of place, and then left click, shear, wait for them to come back, and you can have a massive farm full of them, and it's that simple. So yeah, sheep, or wool-based structures are also all renewable. Next up, we have stuff that you can farm, so we've got the cactus, the one I mentioned earlier, but we've also got ice, which can be farmed, as I mentioned in the video before. You've got snow, as I've also shown. You've got yourself You've got obsidian, not obsidian, but you do have some obsidian also, but you've got melon, you've got pumpkin, which can be grown, you've got these two flowers here, which require you to bone meal the ground. Bones are renewable because you can get them from skeletons, and you've also got the hay bales here. And you might be thinking to yourself at this point, so, okay, Toycat, all of this stuff is renewable, but again, if I'm, how is this going to help me out too much? I doubt I'm going to mine all the stone in the world. But the cool thing about knowing all of this stuff is it means that you can know which stuff is more wasteful than others. And, again, if you're playing a really massive world of 8 complete friends, this can come up in a matter of months, if not years, and if you're playing Minecraft long enough, it's important. So, next category of drops we have here come from the villagers. So there's only a few here, and I've got them all around here. You've got the emeralds, because you can trade with villagers to get an infinite amount of emeralds, but you've also got, what is kind of interesting to me, you've also got the glass, because you can trade these with either priests or librarians, and then using that glass, you can make glass paints, and then when stained glass comes out, you can, of course, get stained glass from that, and that's pretty cool. Finally, you've got mob drop category, and this is a surprisingly big category, because you can actually, okay, so you've got the wither skeleton to get the wither skeleton skulls, you've got the wither skeleton to get coal, because he does drop coal, and charcoal, it might be charcoal, but he drops either coal or charcoal, which means you can make the coal blocks. You can get zombie pigmen, which farm infinitely, which means you can make, gold infinitely, and also gold things. But the biggest one, and this is the hardest farm to set up, but, there is also the iron golem farm. So this requires a villager farm as it is, and then just keep doing that thing. But this means that you can technically farm iron, which means you can make iron pressure plates, you can make iron doors, you can make cauldrons, you can make anvils, you can make hoppers. I was trying to work out what this was from above. You can also make iron bars. So many things can be made using iron, and that means that's all of this. But so these are all of the blocks that are renewable, or would be renewable on the PC equivalent of the console. But something that's really cool is that one of the things that console has exclusive for it means that there are a lot of console exclusive renewable features that on PC aren't technically infinite, but on console are as infinite as you will them to be, and that requires us to go with Nether. Because as you probably know, there's actually a reset Nether switch that you can go into your options and set at, and that means that you can reset your. Oh, is that a ghast? No, that's a sheep. I don't know how you got here, but you probably shouldn't be here. Anyway, but yeah, you can actually reset your nether, and that means you get all of the stuff from your nether back again. And this is cool for quite a few reasons, because it means all the netherrack here you can have over and over again. Again, this is functionally infinite as it is, because you're never going to mine all your netherrack, but in case you do intend to for some reason, you can totally get another infinite supply of netherrack. You can also, for the same reason, get lots and lots of nether brick, which, just go to your fortress, mine it, get some more of that. You can do that over and over again. You can also get nether quartz infinitely. If you have a silk touch pickaxe, you can get, you can get whatchamacallums infinitely. You can get the actual nether quartz ore infinitely, which is the only ore that is actually infinite, and it's a console edition exclusive, which I think is really cool. That means you can get all the quartz block, of course. And one thing that's really cool, that's not technically a glitch, but probably should be, is the fact that, because they don't intend to patch it, is the fact that if you go to your chest in your nether fortress, you can actually go back and get your drops again, which means the diamonds are actually infinitely renewable on console, but not on the PC, which in my opinion is really cool. So I need to eat and stop getting blown up by ghast, because I will die if that is a thing that I keep on doing. But yeah, as well as that, there's any single block that can be found in the nether, glowstone, whether it be nether quartz, soul sand, all these sorts of things, they are all infinitely renewable on the consoles only, which I think is really cool. Anyway, so if you take all of this stuff combined, and then you can, as well as just, having all the... Also, that sheep is running pretty fast. But if you take all of this stuff combined, you can actually craft some stuff between it. So, if you combine sticks, coal, and pumpkins, you can make this. If you combine, the ender pearls with this, IF enders with this, you can make the thing. And there's a bunch of blocks that, because of the obsidian or the nether stuff, is actually console exclusive. So, I've shown you all of the blocks now across the video, which are actually infinitely renewable, which I think is really cool. And using all of this together, the key kind of point from the video, if you didn't want to use it for your own world, is something that I thought would be a really fun challenge, and that is to make a house out of only renewable resources. So, although this is, really like 40% of the game's resources, there are quite a few limiting stuff you can't make. And I figure what would be really fun is if I made a sarcastic entry, so if you're like, I don't know if I can do this, Toy Cat, I'd make the worst possible infinitely renewable house, which is technically artsy. I'm claiming this is an art statement on how we should recycle more in Minecraft or something like that. But yeah, this is my entry for the best renewable house. As you can see, it's got a perfect entranceway, it's got a very space-efficient design, and it's even got some carpet in it. Perfect. But yeah, this is only using renewable resources. I'd like to see, feel free to tweet at me, like, your, best renewable house design. I'd like to know what it is, and I think it's a really fun challenge. So, next time you're in your Minecraft world, maybe think about the Minecraft environment, or something like that. It's just a ridiculous thing that you can do that in Minecraft, and I figured, again, if you're playing a long survival world, it might be important to you. So please do like it if you did like it, share it if you liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I do a Minecraft console video every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. And yeah, finally, just tweet at me if you do, with a picture, if you have an infinitely renewable house. I'd like to know, exactly what it looks like, if you can actually make a nice looking house, because there are quite a few blocks missing. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.